Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my growing wall of art. Welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another investigation commentary type video. My dog will be playing in the background, she's got zoomies. We've got the investigation goggles on today. So you know we've got some tea. In today's video, I'm going to be going down a little rabbit hole. I didn't want to make this video, but then I did. I don't want to get into stuff that's like sensitive. But I also wanna, because I asked myself this question the other day. I was like, why is no one talking about this person? Why has everybody unfollowed this person? Where are they now? Some people won't know who this is, but some people will. Especially if you're a fan of the band Motionless In White, which I am myself. It's a sensitive topic, and this is something that no one has actually talked about before apart from one person that I saw a video on. I'm gonna put like their name here because their video actually helped me grasp the situation better, so thank them. This is a very sensitive topic. I don't want to like be accusatory, so everything I've gathered is like information I got myself, unbiased as well, because I approached the situation as someone who used to like Devin, Sola, or Ghost, as you know, they were once referred to on stage. I no longer consider myself a fan of Devin because of the situation, but we'll get into it, like, you know, bit by bit. I'm gonna start off the whole like investigation with the statement that the band released on the 4th of May 2018, which reads, "Motionless in White fans, we regret to inform you that Motionless in White and longtime bassist Devin Ghost Sola are parting ways. It has been a pleasure to have spent the past 7 years on the road and around the world with Devin, creating lifelong memories, full stop. We wish him nothing but the best as he enters the next chapter of his life. For more information, please see Devin's social pages at Lonesome Ghosts." A lot of people are blocked by Devin, so I think on one of my accounts I am blocked, so I can't actually see. I think that is because I was doing a lot of digging and investigating. I've not said anything or done anything. Don't harass anyone. Harassment is bad. Don't become a bad person. We will still be performing on every single day of the upcoming Vans Warped Tour 2018 and are excited to announce that ex-Motionless member TJ Bell will be filling in on bass for the duration of the tour. I remember this because TJ left Motionless in White like at one point and Devin filled in, and then it was a big deal for me as a long-time fan to see that TJ was coming back and like everything was made up and it was rejoining, and I was like, oh, it's like the good old days again, yay. So it was like a big deal for me as like a very long-time fan. So even though it was like sad news, there was good news mixed in. Not really relevant to the story, but like I thought it was like nice. Thank you for understanding, and thank you, Devin, for your dedication, creativity, and all that you have contributed towards Motionless in White for the past 7 years. And then dash MIW. The statement is very like, oh, okay, someone has decided to part ways, and a lot of people in the comments were like, oh, yeah, Devin used to focus on their mental health, focus on their life outside of tour, because I remember 2 other members leaving for mental health reasons and physical health reasons. Like, it's weird saying my own name out loud, but the drummer Angelo had to leave because of physical health, if I remember right, and keyboard player Josh also left because of health reasons. I think it was Menti-H. I believe, I'm not gonna like speculate anything, I believe he does have alopecia, which can cause a lot of internal conflict and like mental health problems and like self issues. On an outside perspective, touring across the world constantly and not being home all the time will take a lot out of a person. And in 2018 as well, I think I saw Motionless in 2019. They were like at the highlight of touring before, you know, Spicy Cough took everything away. So that was the statement released. Nobody really knew anything of the situation with Ghost or Devin Sola, but there were some comments on like pages like Reddit and Twitter and Tumblr. Tumblr was a huge one, especially for like a lot of the information that I've grabbed. Everything on Tumblr was wiped, so a lot of this stuff I had to use the like Wayback Machine for, which is something that digs through internet archives, because once you post something on the internet, it's there forever, nothing's hidden. Because of like updated policies, and I'm in the UK, so I actually can't see a lot of these things, so a lot of what I found is limited. Unless I prove that I'm over a certain age, so I have to make an account, give my information, my ID, my passport, whatever, to a third-party website, I wasn't able to see half of the stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving my information to a third party. It's so awkward. Just read up on the UK laws if you're interested. If you're not, the TLDR is, unless you give your information to a third party, you can't see anything adult. And that doesn't just include like the hub. It also includes like certain Reddit pages, certain Twitters, certain Tumblrs, certain Patreons, if someone's content is deemed too graphic, someone took a picture of their Switch on their lap and it was deemed nudity because you could see their skin. And I couldn't see it unless I proved my ID on Twitter. That's how bad it is. I'm not allowed. It's like revealing ankles all over again. It's bad. Back to this. I have taken quite a few like screenshots. Like there's quite a load. There's some on my phone, some on my MacBook. This might be a long video. This is a screenshot from the official Kerrang magazine, what's it called? Site? Like, the online magazine. That. And I think this is what Devin might have said, or someone else. It is believed that every 7 years you experience a substantial shift in your life. In 2011 I arrived at a new exciting chapter, and now in 2018 I am entering another. Yeah, this is Devin. As of today, I will be officially parting ways with Motionless in White. I've travelled the world, had unforgettable memories, and most importantly created friendships that will last a lifetime. I have had the amazing privilege of performing and showing my art to the world, and that's truly all I could ever ask for. Unfortunately, in more recent times, a multitude of circumstances made it extremely difficult for me to hold on to my connection with so many. I know it's personal and you don't need to give anybody your information or what's going on in your life, but it's weird that like the ex-members were like, my physical health or my mental health, or I want to settle down. Like any band who've like parted with a member, they're like, my mental H, my physical health. But Devin's here like, a multitude of circumstances. What are the circumstances? Again, privacy, you're entitled, but when we get more into the video, you'll see why I'm saying this, so just clock that for a second. The cons simply began to outweigh the pros. It hindered my ability to live a productive life. I began deprioritizing myself and my well-being. This began to take a toll on my psyche, and at the hardest of times caused me to experience fatigue, overwhelming anxiety, and depression. As I grew older and analysed things differently, I realised that I have to consider the results of this and make a change in order to live a happy and healthy life. Thank you to every crew member, fellow musician, and anyone else I shared this time with. I am incredibly fortunate for everything I have experienced and truly blessed to have such an amazing and talented individuals in my life. You influenced me to be my strongest and helped me when I was at my weakest. I can't thank you enough and love you all. English sometimes messes with my brain, so I'm like having to reread these a few times, but sometimes I'll just edit it out so you like don't see these things. Above all, thank you to every fan who has shown their sincere, incredible support. You poured your hearts out, and I consider myself so lucky to be a part of the community you invited me into. You truly are the driving force. Many of you continuously touch my heart with your dedication, creativity, and passion. You are the fire that kept me burning through these past 7 years, and I will never forget that. I will continue to hold on to the love and energy you have also graciously given me, and place myself in a positive new environment for myself. Thank you. That was taken from Instagram, I believe, but the post has been deleted. I think everything's been deleted. Like, everything's been wiped, and I am assuming it was to cleanse, like an internet cleanse. Again, clock it, you'll see why at the end. I'm trying to remember where this screenshot was from. I see Twitter, and I think this is from the band. I'm just reading through it super quick to get to grasp. It was taken from Twitter because it was posted from the band on Instagram, I think, and someone cross-posted it on Twitter. I've done a lot of research onto this, so some of the things are a little bit like crossed over in my mind. First and foremost, we want to assure you that you have been heard and understood. We feel deeply empathetic to anyone who has felt victimized by Devin. Alright, real quick. No dubs. These are all L's that he's taken. I am a victim, not of Devin, but of similar things. I understand you. I am with you. I hear you. I'm talking about this as a victim because I understand what it's talking about. I understand how it feels, and I want to raise awareness. And not everyone knows about this situation. I see videos saying, oh, we miss Devin, like, come back Devin, or where's Devin? I think this needs to be talked about from someone who has been in the same position. And I think as someone who unfortunately has been a victim of this, it's probably better to come from me. Maybe even better if like a victim spoke up, but I don't want them to because they'll get the hate. Like, you know, send your hate my way, I can take it, but don't send your hate to the victims, okay? This happened to them, leave them alone. I feel like knowing what's happened and what has happened, what could happen, and how it feels, I feel like I can empathize in a way. Does any of this make sense? Anyway, I'm going to continue reading, but if I seem a little bit like blasé about it or nonchalant, just know I understand what it feels like. And I'm using humour to cope with the fact that I've been through it and some of it is triggering towards me and I'm trying to laugh to make myself not cry. It is a hard thing to deal with, hearing how people were affected by someone we were once close to, but it is much harder to imagine the depth of the trauma that actions like this can cause someone to experience. Having been affected by this ourselves, we'll get into that, as well as people close to us in our personal lives, we truly understand the gravity of what it means, and we thank you for sharing what you have been through in a time where it's not easy to feel comfortable doing so. We at no point witnessed or were aware of any details or inappropriate messaging, communication, or misconduct before we were made aware of his overall behaviour online by fans who felt uncomfortable and brought it to us. They were unaware of this before it was brought up. Because there were a lot of people accusing the band of going along with it, they were unaware. Remember what happened with other musicians. I might actually do a series on like musicians who are absolute pieces of shit, because not a lot of people know, and I think it needs to be spoken about more so you know who to stay away from. Once made aware of this information and having processed it, we made the decision to part ways. With many complex legal parameters considered, we made a statement in which the understanding was that the departure was mutual. There it is. The mutual split with the band is to keep the legality out of the public eye, because I think these things are very private and there's only so much you can actually say legally, because a lot of lawyers and stuff like that are like, shush. And though it technically was, we did not mean to mislead anyone with the statement. In retrospect, and in light of all that transpired, we feel validated in our decision to cut ties. The fact of the matter is that we did not want to be associated with Devin. We denounce his behaviour, we feel immense remorse for anyone who has been hurt by it. Motionless in White condemns all acts of sexual harassment and assault. There it is. That's what this video is about. That's what Devin has been, I'm saying accused of, as what he's done. We stand with all the victims. I like this statement because it goes into depth about why they couldn't talk about it in the first place, standing with the victims, of course, and a bit more into why they did part ways. Maybe I'm biased because I do really like Motionless in White. They're a great band. They're great people. That is a good statement. There is a thread here. I might save it for the end because it's very long, and I might make it its own little segment, but I found this thread on Twitter. I might leave the user out just to protect them. I'm gonna leave this one till last. Here's some stuff I found on Reddit. This is the Reddit chapter. Oh, Reddit chapter. People found some of the behaviours that Devin showed towards the band very weird, and when you go back to the statement, there was talk about some behaviour that the band talked about, like behaviour going towards themselves. I forgot the words already. And that they were also cut ties because they also felt uncomfortable with what Devin was doing to them before knowing what the victims experienced. We're going to get into a lot of the things that Devin did towards the band. Some of the things I could not find because, again, I can't access things in the UK because they think I'm a minor even though I'm like 23. Things have been wiped from the internet. So the lady who I talked about earlier in the video, her video covers quite a lot, so check her out. Her name will obviously be back up here. I'll try and link it in the description below if I can find it. First, I'll add all the screenshots on my art wall. His bio is bimbo slut for Chris Motionless. And right off the bat, it's like, oh, ha ha ha, funny, la la. But when you are like a colleague or a co-worker, and you're like, oh, I am your bimbo slut. I think he was also in a relationship at this point. Here's a screenshot that I don't really want to say out loud. He used to do Humiliation Hour on his story, which underage fans had access to. I'm gonna put it up, and I don't want to read it because it's disgusting. Devin used to sexualize Chris a lot. And as someone who works very closely, they're on tour together, they're sleeping in the same like tour bus. You start to like feel uncomfortable, right? Another one I'm gonna put up. The hour of humiliation is so weird. I think I managed to salvage a couple of screenshots. It's all been wiped. The Wayback Machine could only show me so much. I don't like the use of the anime pictures in the background. And then it's the please, period, don't, period, stop, period. Girl, calm down. This is your colleague. This is someone who welcomed you into the band after the band was formed. Have some respect, have some decorum. He can also, like, the band could also see these stories as well. You're not embarrassed? Sorry. It's been a while since I've done this research because I was working on my other video, like my last video. This is photoshopped. But this was an official post on Ghost's Instagram. By the way, there was a statement about Ghost's like sexuality, gender identity, whatever. Ghost goes by he, him now. Just getting that out of the way, he goes by he, him now. He did experiment with his gender, so you will see a lot of provocative stuff but the picture, photoshopped. You'll see my face is very disgusted in a lot of this because I forgot. I kind of blocked it off my memory. I was on autopilot for this whole thing. Another story. This one's not Humiliation Hour. This one's just something I found off of Tumblr. XXX only questions. Favorite P-star. Anyone I can picture myself as. Remember, these are fans who are potentially underage that can ask and see these questions. There is no like, because he did make a statement on his Tumblr saying, oh, it's an 18 plus Tumblr. There was no like wall to be like, oh, you have to prove that you're 18 or plus, but he was still making a statement, whatever, people can defend that. With Instagram, there was no such statement. With Instagram, it was just there for the public eye, there for the minors, there for the underage fans who can just see it and interact with it. This is just more stuff I found on Tumblr. This is the Tumblr segment. More XXX questions. What is one of your favourite hinks? I don't want to get demonetized. You putting his name in my ask box. I'm assuming that's referring to Chris. Yeah, I'm assuming that's referring to Chris. Oh, another one I had issues with. Message me for content. It's giving, like, you know, Instagram bot, but still. This was from official, like, Lonesome Ghost Instagram. Was he checking the fans, like, age? But also, pause for a second. The fact that these were fans of the music, of the band, he had some power over the fans. Like, he had a huge control. It's almost like your boss saying, oh, you have to do this because I could fire you. It's giving the same vibes. You have control over your fans because they love you for your music. And now you're, like, trying to sell them your pornography. I'm trying to censor myself a little bit because I know certain words will get striked and flagged and I don't want this video to be hidden. Promoting yourself through the band and your music, it just seems like a gross use of fame. There's nothing wrong with being an OF creator. There's nothing wrong with selling your content. But if that's how you built your platform, go ahead. However, if people go to you for a certain product and you use that product, which has nothing to do with it, and you use that product to then sell your pornography, then it's kind of like especially since there's so many underage fans, that's the bit that gets me the most. I found Motionless In White when I was like pre-pubescent. You know, some of these fans, this is nothing against the fans, like especially the underage ones, because you don't know what you're doing, you have no idea what is going on. You just think that you have access to a member of a band. That's something that you never really get. So something that you can access, you want. I don't know if that makes sense or not. A lot of these creepy band, like Ashley Purdy, Davey Vanity, Austin Carlisle, Devin Sola, I think Mike Fuentes as well, they all managed to prey on underage fans and just fans in general because they used their fame to prey on them, because it's like, oh, this is something that you're not normally able to get. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you something that feels hard to achieve and I'm serving it to you. So it's like a power play. I hope that all makes sense. But that's what this is. It's like a power play. There's another big screenshot, so I'm gonna lock in a little bit. I remember this because I remember seeing it and unsubscribing after seeing this. I remember calling my friend after and asking what they thought because I wanted like some outside perspective, because at the time I was also underage and I had no idea what it meant. So it's good to have friends to talk to about this if ever. I know this is like a rare situation, but it doesn't feel that rare with all these band people just preying on children. If ever anyone who sees my videos, if ever like someone famous comes up to you or approaches you online and it feels wrong, talk to someone. Talk to someone who you trust, talk to an adult, get their insight. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. Just talk to someone and get another opinion. In the past few years, I have learned a lot. In the past few days, I have reevaluated myself and the situation I currently face. I offer my sincere thanks to those who have graciously given me insight without senseless harassment. You have helped me make this further statement. In the past, I had a Tumblr account on which I posted adult content. That's one way of putting it. At the start, it seemed harmless, and it was in no way intentionally malicious. Looking back now, I can completely view the situation from different eyes. It was certainly not acceptable, and I can see now, in my head, it was all a fantasy and a safe place. What I did not consider was the effect it would have on others, and what my carelessness would allow it to become. I can't empathise how selfish and stupid it was for me to think that way at the time. I wish I could go back and change so many things, but all I can do now with the education of my past is improve as a person. This feels especially since he like wiped everything off the internet, because nothing gets deleted off the internet. It feels very sweep it under the rug. Though it was clearly an adult page, I failed to acknowledge its accessibility to everyone. That's what I'm saying. Just because you put out a statement, which he only put out on Tumblr, he never put anything out on Instagram, and the Instagram was just as bad as the Tumblr. He never willingly engaged with anyone. That's a little bit of a lie, and we'll get into that later. He wasn't supposed to be there. However, it appears I wrongfully assumed. Real quick, he never asked for the ages. Everything was anonymous and meaningless in my perspective, and I assure you my actions were never went past online interactions. Spoiler alert, they did. Does this make it okay? Absolutely not. I can see now and am forever regretful. I can't apologize enough to anyone and everyone who was affected by my carelessness. It was absolutely unprofessional and irresponsible. It seems like I'm jumping down his throat because for some people this apology might seem genuine. I will have the apology up here and you can like pause or like screenshot or whatever. You can screenshot or whatever. Keep referring back to it if you want. There is someone who had like a Google Drive, but I couldn't access it because again, UK laws ruining my research. Refer back to this when you find out more information and you'll see how it contradicts in itself, and it just seems like he wants to sweep it under the rug and pretend that he cared. I'm sorry most importantly to the love of my life who has tremendously taught me to be a better person in so many ways and is no way responsible for my actions. I have no idea if that was Kylie Devin, his ex who unfortunately got a lot of abuse from Devin, or his current partner who I will get into later, because that is a whole can of worms in itself. It is not anyone's fault but mine. I take full responsibility for these faults. I will be taking an extended leave from everything starting today. And then he deleted everything. And then I remember another statement. He was mad that people was unfollowing him as well. That's not really like relevant, but like I just remembered that. I only want to be a better person and take time to grow even more than I already have allowed myself. I am forever in debt to have this community who has accepted me and helped me become who I am today. Again, I sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart and hope that you will support me in taking this pledge to improve myself beyond my expectations. Thank you. He didn't improve. Spoiler alert. I am going to tell you right now, this man is like late 30s, early 40s. I don't know how long he's been with his current partner, but his current partner is 22. I don't know how long they've been dating, but his current partner is pretty much half his age. She is 22. She looks a lot younger than 22. She was very clearly a fan. I've been through her Instagram. I'm not going to dox her. I'm trying to find out when they got together, but as of right now, I actually don't know. The information is not being given to us because I think that, like, whenever someone asks, she knows. So I think it's like a situation of he waited or he is still a little bit of a predator. I also remember this statement as well. There's going to be a lot of reading in this. They'll be up here so we can like read through together. Recently, false accusations have been made against me. They have been proven untrue time and time again. I am here to address the situation to provide understanding to such a serious issue. I believe they were proved untrue at the time because back then no one was really chronically online. But now, thanks to the spicy cough, we are all chronically online and we can just prove things with backlog, the Wayback Machine, screenshots. We all keep screenshots. Like, how many of you have screenshots of texts of arguments that you've had with someone on Facebook? Like, I do. Lies, rumors, assumptions, insinuations, misinterpretations, manipulation, online attackers, cancel culture. My god, calm down. Cancel culture, out of context, or entire fabrications. He could have just said fabrications. I'm sorry, this is just too long. I have been tortured by these for years. Imagine being falsely accused by people who once supported you. Imagine being incessantly harassed to the point where you have to choose to leave your career behind to escape it. Seems like the consequences of your actions. Imagine continuously being targeted well beyond your attempt to separate yourself from negativity. I have never dealt with such a toxic situation in my life as this and would never wish this on anyone else. I am constantly fighting to maintain my mental health and have never fought harder than the past few years. I have provided a response and cooperation countless times over the years to clear the air without resolution or recognition for my attempt to do so, yet here I am once again making an effort. I don't like that. Sorry, I'm just beating into the camera. When you apologize because you're sorry, not because you want to be forgiven. okay? And this part here, I've provided response and cooperation without resolution or recognition. Girl, why did you apologize then if all you wanted was resolution and recognition? You apologize because you mean it and you want to be sorry and you want to make it up to everyone and you actually feel guilt. You don't apologize because you want to be forgiven. Whenever people apologize for something bad, I say thank you. I don't say I forgive you. That part just seems so gaslighty. Without resolution or recognition for my attempts, yet here I am once again making an effort. Bitch, I'm sorry to anyone out there, but if you apologize only to make yourself feel better, you're not apologizing, okay? You apologize to make the victims feel better, and they do not have to forgive you. They can choose to forgive you if they are ready to or not. It's not your place to forgive your own actions. Please acknowledge, being an advocate for safety and comfort of others, both physically and mentally, it deeply hurt me to experience the kind of behaviour that has been misdirected at me. I applaud those who are brave enough to fight against injustice, and I passionately stand next to you and the ongoing struggle for the rest of your life and mine. What I absolutely won't stand for is those who waste time and energy obsessively falsely accusing people with no authentic evidence to the desperate length of participating in cancel culture as a recreation. I have and will continue to block anyone who engages in this type of behaviour. False accusations halt the movement forward for actual victims who are suffering every day. I can absolutely assure you that I have done nothing to deserve this negativity. I ask that you stop falsely accusing me of things I have never and would never do and or be a part of in any shape or form. As much as I struggle to deal with these accusations, I realise it is much more crucial to address the issue and bring awareness to such a delicate matter. Thank you for reading. Yeah. This is not an apology. It feels like a snap at people. It's not a delicate apology. When you apologize from the heart. This is an apology from the ass. I'm sorry. It just seems like, yeah, harassing people is wrong. Like, don't harass people. But when we get into the Tumblr side of this, you'll see why people were making these, like, harassments towards Devin. A lot of things I couldn't grasp. So, like, when you go back to this girl's video and see some of the things that has happened, you'll see, like, don't harass anyone. Do not harass anyone, because then you'll be just as bad as the person. Like, harassment is stinky, don't do it. You can't play victim when you made the victims. Yeah, this was on Instagram. I saw this tweet ages ago. It's a tweet that I took a screenshot of because it just shows the type of person that Devin is. Remember, this was tweeted out to his fans, mostly underage. If you come to a MIW show, you are going to get wet, whether I spit out, throw water on you, or you get sexually aroused. It's going to happen. It feels like a threat. Like, the spit on you, like, ew, keep that to yourself. And the sexually aroused, bitch, like, you think highly of yourself. Oh, here we go with some Tumblr stuff. Right. On Tumblr, there was a thing where people could anonymously send in confessions and, like, questions to Devin, and Devin would respond. I took a screenshot of one because the anonymous said, I haven't been properly since October of last year. My fiance has been slacking. He knows how much I love a good Can you help me out, daddy? Wet emojis. And Devin responded with, the wedding is cancelled, middle finger emoji. Read into it as ever you want, because it's still weird. These are fans. These are fans of the music. It's such a gross use of power. Real quick, actually, I found some DMs that someone shared. I'm gonna put them on screen, of course. Everything's gonna be on screen. But someone shared their DMs with Devin. Devin, Sola, verified. Yeah, at Lonesome Ghost. I'm double checking that they are, like, real and valid. I understand why you're upset, but you've got to understand that it's not okay to go name calling, whether the person is wrong or not. I have no context, by the way. This is just what I'm reading and what I've got. The interaction obviously had no context of wrongly branding my work. Okay, so it's something to do with, like, his work outside of the band. I'm assuming it's like, he used to make stuff, $1 or whatever it was. It obviously was lovely, and this isn't. Yeah, it's not name calling. I could say 1,000 other words as name calling. Idiot, stupid, etc. are all correct words to describe your behaviour and incorrectness. This is to a fan. I wasn't wrongly branding your work, Devin. I said people might see it as a mockery. I own $1 items and have personally no issue with it, but other people I know do. That was what I was trying to get across to you, and you didn't hear me. You didn't want to hear me. Oh. And then a response after that is, hello, I am messaging you with the utmost sincerity to apologize for what I said in the past on Twitter. When was this? See, the last post was... yeah, the last message was the 30th of the 4th, 2015, when he was still in the band, 9:04 p.m. And this one is the 12th of the 3rd, 2018, when he was no longer in the band. He went digging. He went far into the DMs for this one. I am messaging you with the utmost sincerity to apologise for what I said in the past on Twitter. It was completely childish of me, was not serious, and has since been removed. It was not okay to say those things and is completely on me. Okay, so it's like an apology, and I'm assuming to just like clear his conscience, not apologise. I appreciate the apology, it's all good. Thank you for your response. I just want to bring attention to the dates. How did it take you 3 years to respond to someone? You went digging so hard for that DM. Like, I can't find DMs after a week. And I'm not famous. He's famous and he had to go digging. How long was that stewing in his brain? Girl. Right. This is everything that I found on the Wayback Machine, okay? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. I'm a little bit bland. What do you crave, need, want? Look at what I reblog. What do you desire, darling? Degradation. And another post that he put up was, ask me dirty questions. That's one of them. September 2017. Post photos of Kylie, you stupid cook. So he did. He posted a photo of Kylie, who was his partner at the time. You can only guess what type of photos that means. When I read these out, let your imagination do the thinking. Because when I was doing the looking, I wish I had private browsing on because my internet provider is going to have questions. I regret everything I saw when doing this research. Another screenshot. We want to see you coming, daddy. Then make me cum slut. November 7th, 2017. I couldn't see the post. However, you can see the hashtags. And I'm going to put the hashtags up. Just zoom in on the little father/daughter hashtag. The stuff that Devin was posting on his Tumblr. Do you see where some of the issues I have with him are coming from? 2017, he was posting... this was still in the band, this is fucking disgusting. He was posting this... again, I'm not... even if I did have the picture, I'm not showing it, that's fucking disgusting. The hashtags speak for themselves. These are hashtags he put up himself. Oh yeah. I took a picture, a screenshot of his current partner's Instagram because her age is 22. The screenshot is just me not being able to see the tweets. I can't see them because they're protected. Only approved for. He has to approve his followers. Oh, that's stupid. That means I think he has to view your account and see it and go through it. This was the post actually that he put up about his Tumblr. In case you can't tell, this Tumblr is 18+, so if you aren't of age, kindly go play with your toys elsewhere, thanks. He really thought that was going to stop people from seeing it, and even if it did, he did not have that on his Instagram. That was on his Tumblr. But he didn't have it on his Twitter either. And then the other issue is, even if it's like 18+, why are you posting stuff that has to do with father/relative in the family? Why are you posting that, reposting that, hashtagging that? Also, again, it's just the fan interaction. These are your fans. It's a power play. OMG, help, my boyfriend walked in on me myself to one of your pictures. What do I do? Tell him to watch. The tell him to watch is a response from Ghost. What is your biggest turn on? Turning the anonymous switch off. So he wants to see which fan sent him that message, because these are all anonymous again, I said earlier. He wants to know the name and the account of who sent him these questions and confessions. Is that not weird? Do you still use your Snapchat? I'd love to send you some things. No, I deleted it a while ago. Feel free to send things here. That is a fan. That is a fan, Devin. Oh boy. This is a big screenshot. I took a screenshot of all of July's posts that I could find because it's huge. Like, if I ask you nicely, will you me after you play Warped Tour, so while he was still in the band, and he responded with, if you turn off anonymous. These are all just his reactions to people saying that they want to sleep with him, and then him going, oh yeah, sure, just give me your name, turn off anonymous, I will do it. If you come off anon, someone wants to send pics, he says yes, come off anon and I'll make it a reality, come off and on. These are all awful. Sorry, I just read one of them about objectifying women who are smaller than him. It's just awful. Another one, I had to take a screenshot of the whole Wayback Machine. I'll put it up. Would you be interested in being below someone who's 18? Yes. Another one where he's responding, just messaged me. He gave out his private Tumblr for someone to send him pictures. I'm going to Warped Tour for my 18th. Would you be willing to give me a birthday? And he said yes. So at the moment, they're a minor. He actually saw that they're under 18 at that point and didn't say get off my Tumblr. Have you ever up with a fan before? Yes. Yeah, I'm not going to read that one, but I'm just going to put it on screen. Oh yeah, I took a screenshot of this because I thought it was interesting to see. 3 posts that all read the same thing. This content has been removed for violating Tumblr's user guides, which means it was corn to say censored. June 2015. It must have been some bad PORN to be censored by Tumblr. This one just really made me angry. This is a screenshot from Wayback Machine's results. The breathtaking corpse of a young girl. The breathtaking corpse of a young girl? The hell is that supposed to mean? Breathtaking? That combined with the fact that he was speaking to minors, the fact that he wants to sleep with people who are barely 18, the fact that his partner is 22 and I don't know how long they've been dating. Corpse? There's so... Like, it gets deeper as well. These are only things that I could find because the rest of it was unfindable. And the stuff I found from this person's video show much worse. It shows stuff that involved Devin's own mother, and it involves stuff that involved him abusing Kylie Devin, which, like, I think some of the pictures, based on the context of the video and the pictures and the anonymous requests, I think the pictures were given and taken without Kylie's consent. He was also very, according to sources on Reddit, Twitter, and the video, that say he was also very abusive to Kylie of her weight, even though she is a gorgeous, stunning woman who has, like, an amazing body. Even if she was bigger or overweight, like he was saying, none of your business. Stay out of it. All bodies are beautiful. But that is all of the stuff that I could find. This video that I will link will show more. It will show some of the intense stuff that I could not show you or could not get myself because of the stupid UK law. A lot of the stuff runs a lot deeper than this, such as taking advantage of fans at Warped Tour, doing stuff with his mum, stuff like that. It goes a lot deeper than that. I could not provide the proof because I don't have the access as someone who lives in the UK, and I don't want to give my personal information to a third party who I do not trust. There's not really much else I can say other than the fact that when you take these screenshots out, like, with the context, you take the accusations, take the fact that he's dating someone who's barely an adult, he clearly was a fan as well, half his age. You take all those things into consideration and you take the half-assed angry apology where he's angry that no one's forgiving him for these things, and he's expecting to be forgiven after one pathetic apology. After all these things you put together, it paints a bigger picture of who this person is. He's angry that no one's accepting an apology, specifically the victims. And then you get the official statement from Motionless In White that was at the start, where they were saying they originally hidden why they kicked him out. And then when all of the accusations came forward, they were like, okay, we will speak about it now that we're allowed to. And this is what happened, and the band is also victims. Because if I remember right, he was also very, very creepy to the band members. You saw some pictures from, like, Chris and that. But again, I think in the lady's video, she also goes into more depth because she could find more things than I could. A lot of stuff has been wiped from the internet. I could only find so much. UK person. Do watch the other girl's video. She has a lot more information than I could find. I just wanted to give my side of the story, especially as someone who has unfortunately been through some stuff like this. I do not forgive him because even if it was untrue, the way he handled it and the way he expected to be forgiven after one apology is enough for me to not forgive him. There is a difference between actually apologizing because it didn't happen and apologizing to cover your tracks. It seems like he is apologizing to cover up his tracks, sweep it under the rug, or be like, oh, I apologize, so forget about it, like a James Charles apology. This is all I'm gonna say for this video, unless something else crops up and I'll just add it in at the end. I personally would not forgive him based off of his aggressive apology. The use of the father-daughter dance, the use of that one, that's fucking weird, that. Let me know if you want me to cover anyone else. Let me know if there's any people you want me to expose. Let me know if there's anyone you want me to just discuss, and I will do. I definitely want to talk about Mr. Davey Vanity, because I want to expose him for the actual piece of crap he is. Plus his situation is like disgusting, and I just think it needs to be spoken about. A lot of people know about it, but some people still don't, surprisingly. I hope this video is like okay. I'll see you next time. It's gonna take me a while to edit this one. It's a long one. Probably the longest one I've done. Bye.